We haven't done it for a while.
We're recording now.
All right.
Should we do like a welcome back or who's back? Or
Welcome back.
I was going different.
Oh,
but-
dreams were your ticket out. Welcome
Lord.
back.
Hey, we're back.
Hey. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this.
Me
Welcome
too.
back to Not for Sunday Mornings.
Yep.
This is season 2 of our podcast.
Season 2.
You didn't think we'd make it this far, did you?
I did not. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm as always very excited about this. I've been looking forward to this for 6 months now since we started talking about it back in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
So what's this season going to be about?
Ooh. This season we're going to do flannel graph stories versus favorite title.
That is definitely not my favorite
You
title.
want to talk about that?
About why
you-
we, why
you
we
hate
should
the
not
title?
use that as a title.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So let's be honest. There's people who are not like us that did not grow up in the church in the 80s,
Yeah.
and so maybe have no clue what a flannel graph is.
Well, they're still human beings, though, and flannel graphs aren't just a church thing.
Really?
I
Because
don't
I don't
know.
remember them outside of church ever.
Oh.
Do you?
Nah, maybe not.
Were you homeschooled or something?
It was not. I was not. No, but the thought was like we would take these stories that we learned in Sunday school and expound on them a little bit and unpack them, and because I think a lot of what we learned was perhaps one-sided and not the full story.
Oh, 100% agree with it. And that's why I was really excited when we really did start talking about this just as a general concept.
Yeah, when did we start doing that? Who came up with the idea?
You had it, and
Did I?
I don't remember. It was one Saturday morning, like we were just looking at what the future was holding,
Hmm.
and you said, "I have this idea for flannel graph stories," and like I fell in love with it
Hmm.
immediately.
That was cool. I don't remember. I couldn't remember who came up with it or not. I didn't remember.
Yeah, I think and the idea that if we're being honest, we live in a Bible literate culture,
Mhm.
and that includes the church.
Mhm.
Most people just don't read the stories or don't know it. And when you have a lot of people who are coming in that maybe didn't grow up in the church, it's not good.
No.
And so I love the idea because when you originally addressed it and brought it up, the idea was behind Bible literacy.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is gonna be fun. Like, and it was not easy to pick these stories. Like, I think we
No,
went
no.
through and we made a list of like 50 different possible ideas.
Yeah,
at
I
one
think so. It
point.
was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Yeah.
And then trying to narrow it down and keep it where there's stories that people had heard.
Yep.
Maybe some less known stories a little
Yeah.
bit, but still ones that maybe had slipped through at one point in life. And really, I think we built this off of our experiences as
Yeah, I
kids
think so.
growing up in the church.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And the stories that we heard. And I know, like when I was working on narrowing it down, a lot of it was not necessarily the stories that I loved as a kid, but the ones I've learned to love as an adult. There's at least 2 I can say. I wanted to do this because I learned about it as a kid. I remember hearing about it as a kid, but I've learned to love it better as an adult.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't a frontline story, but it's one of those smaller ones that you just come across every once in a while and get to enjoy.
Yeah, and I think the heart behind a lot of it is where does it point to Jesus? Where does it point to God? I think a lot of these stories we just put in a box in the Old Testament, but we know the Bible is a whole arc, and so it's been fun to kind of dig out some of that and some of the connection points that are clearly point towards Jesus, and some that don't, that are a little more difficult, and kind of talking through those. And that's, I think, what the podcast will be helpful for, because there's going to be a lot of extra stuff.
Well, yeah, and for people who didn't listen to season 1, maybe we should just kind of describe a little bit of what we're
You mean for
trying
most
to do
of the
here.
people in the world?
So everyone but my mom and
My wife,
You're-
partially.
partially.
Not all of it. Yeah, she got tired halfway through.
I knew a couple other guys that said that they listened to it every
No, they
day,
didn't.
but
they didn't.
the
yeah.
numbers don't show that.
Numbers
so.
do not show that. Yeah. No. So the thought was like the stuff that doesn't make the sermon. We did it in Revelation last year, and
Correct.
because Revelation's such a heavy topic and controversial topic, and so having all the extra stuff meant for the podcast kept Sunday morning clean and focused, and then let us kind of just ramble on during the week and add a lot of extra stuff to it.
A lot of stuff, yeah, because again, the unknown side of preaching is that we get half an hour
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And so we
22 minutes. No.
well, some of us get half an hour. Some of us only choose to take 22 minutes.
Some of us take a half hour.
Oh, well, that may be it. Yeah. But the idea is that we don't go into writing these sermons empty-minded and just free write. Like, there's a lot of time and research that goes into what we're talking about. A lot of not just reading the Bible, but reading commentaries,
Mhm.
reading other sources, and seeing how those work. And so there's a lot of stuff that you pick up on that maybe isn't directly relevant to the message you're trying to preach that Sunday, but doesn't mean it's not interesting or important nonetheless. You just can't fit it in. And
Yeah.
so that's the goal here, is
Yeah.
to kind of toss those extra knowledge nuggets out there. And
Knowledge nuggets.
that was on the fly.
That's Chris's new podcast, Knowledge Nuggets.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Side of barbecue sauce. Knowledge Nuggets. What the heck?
But yeah, so to kind of to rediscuss what we did talk about, from the person who was listening versus the person who was preaching, like, there's that, well, where were you going with this? Or, this was profound to me, because sometimes even I know there's times you write things and you don't think they're big,
Mhm.
but they're huge ideas. And there's times I know I write things that, that people latch on to, that I'm like, this is a nothing
Yeah.
thing that I write down.
And then they come and tell you it's a knowledge nugget.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah. Oh, knowledge nuggets.
So yeah, but so are we sticking with the flannel graph?
Yeah,
Okay.
but the graphics already
Alright.
made.
Alright,
Flannel graph
that's
stories.
fine.
It's gonna be awesome.
For those of you who are listening right now, I just want you to know that I wanted to go with the stories we thought we knew.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's
I get
a good
shot.
one.
I get shot down on titles all the time. So.
Yeah, that one's okay. I get the stories we thought we knew. Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that would go against your idea of Bible illiteracy, though, because people don't know these stories.
That's true.
So.
You're right.
I already shot a hole in
There
your
you
title. It'll be fun. I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be neat. We got some cool stage things we're gonna do, decor, and
Yeah, I think just for fun and summertime we know is low attendance.
no, not here, not anymore. It
No,
used to
we're
be.
good. Our numbers
Dude,
are good.
It's stupid. Like inside baseball stuff. Yeah, like we don't have since COVID, we don't have a drop anymore. Like in summer.
Oh, that's good.
I know it's wild.
I know, like before COVID, it was always
Yeah, you have a fall
you
off,
had the
but-
fall off and,
Yeah, not anymore.
and whatnot.
No,
I guess I don't look at the numbers close enough.
neither do I.
All right, so I guess let's give them the insight into what we're going to be talking about a little bit, doing the topics that we got. Not necessarily in order, but
Oh, you want to go in order?
I don't care. We can. I have mine in my calendar, but I forgot to put yours in my
I
calendar.
have them in order here.
And some of the dates I have written down here don't match the dates in my calendar. So
That's good to know.
Yep.
So we're gonna talk. We're gonna first kick off with the story of Rahab, which is a really neat story about a prostitute and her story. And I'm really excited for this week to get to talk about that. There's a lot of insider stuff. I don't want to spoil it right yet, but there's a lot of neat extra stories that I think we can share next week about her and how historians have seen her, and just it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. So I'm excited to talk about Rahab and how she connects to Jesus and what it says to us in our story. So that's Rahab, and then the next week is Noah.
yeah, I've got Noah for the next week. So looking forward to that too, because there's a lot of actual and really the podcast afterwards, because there's a lot to talk about with
Yeah,
Noah.
yeah.
It's I'm going to argue in my sermon probably one of the best known Bible stories amongst everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Secular or churchgoers, but we don't know the story of Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And so understanding that, and it paints a couple really big pictures that we're going to get into, but I think the real fun stuff's going to come on the podcast with all the extras.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. After Noah, we got Abraham. We're going to talk about Abraham being a foreigner in land, and I think it's kind of a neat. That's a huge story, so we're going to kind of focus on just a sliver of it, I believe. Right?
Yep. And
Did I
then
mess that one up?
no,
Okay.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then your favorite one, Gideon.
Oh, I love Gideon.
Yeah.
This is a fun story that, again, leading into one of those lesser known ones, right? It comes out of the book of Judges. It's not very long.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very interesting character in the story here. But I think the amazing part about how God uses him
Yeah, yeah.
just blows me away every time I read it.
It's gonna be awesome. And then we've got Moses.
Oh, that's me again.
Yeah, and
okay.
I've got the title here is Pitched a Tent. So I'm not sure that's a appropriate title, but
I don't remember that being the title.
Moses.
Did you come up with that on the spot, like my knowledge nuggets?
No,
or
it's written on the computer. It's been here.
Okay.
Pitched a tent. Noah pitched a tent.
Yeah. I think there's a lot. There's a lot on Moses, right? Like
that happened before Sarah got pregnant.
there's a lot on Moses. There's a lot of story that kind of runs. You know, you literally have the beginning of Exodus and all of Exodus and Numbers and Deuteronomy, all the way up into Joshua. You got stories of Moses that are running, and so it's kind of hard. Where do you pull from that? And so really, where I wanted to go with that, I think, is we're gonna focus in on the classic children's story of the burning bush.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know where you got the tent part.
I'm going to let that go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Next up, we got Cain and Abel. I'm going to talk about Cain and Abel.
That'll be a fun one because that's
Yeah.
another short one. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, some of these are like really, really like tight in the
I know.
Bible. And so there's not a lot of detail. So I'm interested where that comes from and really interested into the conversation after that because I think there's some fun stuff that can come
Yeah,
out of
me
that one
too.
too.
Then we got Miriam.
That's you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Daniel actually is going to take that one, so he's going to pitch
Oh,
in.
I see. You pawned off one
Yeah.
of yours. All right.
I did. So Daniel's going to speak up Miriam, so we're kind of excited to hear what he has to
Yeah,
say
that'll
about
be
her.
good.
And then Elijah and Elisha.
Oh, yeah. So
That's
that's me.
Yeah.
Not so much on Elisha. Again, we're looking at in major prophets of the Old Testament here, and you know, it's tough because it's a big long story if
Yeah.
you put them both together. And the one again going when I thought about it and really contemplated where do we need to go with this is what's the story that we know of Elijah, and it's really this is really in truth one of my most favorite stories in the entire Bible. It's the battle between Elijah and the prophets of Baal.
Oh, yeah.
And the surprise twist at the end of that, because
Yeah.
I think we read that story, and when we teach that story in Sunday school, that you know we hear this really awesome story, but we don't see the end of that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what we really pull from that.
Yeah.
And I want to pull that in.
Didn't I share didn't we talk about that in Revelations? I shared how
Oh,
I
yeah.
burned the church down,
Yeah.
the old church. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, really, Rahab's come up multiple times. It's not the
Yeah.
first time where we're talking about Rahab too. You know.
Yeah, but remember when I burned the church down? Remember? Didn't I share that story? Youth group.
Oh yeah, you did. I don't remember if
yeah.
you shared that on the podcast.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
talked about that one a lot of times.
Yeah, I almost burned the church down. So
Yeah,
and we'll talk about that in the podcast. So, and then we got David and Goliath.
and that's you.
Yeah, I can't wait. That'd be fun.
I think, like, out of all the ones we're doing, I think that one, just because it's such a metaphor,
Mhm.
that would be the other one that's probably most widely known, ubiquitously across like Christians and non-Christians alike. You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that it's out there. So I think that'll be a fun take on that one too.
It'll be neat. It'll be really neat. And then we close up with Esther.
Esther, this is a big one.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's last because it's a lot. There's a
Mhm.
lot in there, and trying to pull out this story of this woman that is in the Old Testament, and she's not even Jewish.
Yeah.
You know, and so how important is it that you get a whole entire book dedicated to you that is part of the canon of Old Testament scripture that you don't even belong to the people that it's
I know.
written for and to. So I'm really looking forward to doing Esther and really
Yeah.
hoping to do a good job on
Yeah.
that one.
So that's it. 10 weeks and 11 weeks. We're gonna do it in 11 weeks because we have a Love Lincoln Way in the middle of there. So
Yeah.
10 weeks of this podcast and 10 weeks of this sermon series, and I'm excited.
Yeah. It'll be good.
It'll be different.
This one will definitely be different than last year, especially with the podcast, because it's taking. It's not. There's not a flow between. You know, like these are independent stories, right?
Mhm.
And so even though the series has a common theme, we're taking individual stories and we're going to be talking about it, and sometimes we're going to see connections, and that's the beauty of the Bible, right? Is
Yeah.
these independent stories don't seem to have a connection, but they're there for a reason, and they're being told to us for a reason, and it's how we take them and apply them. And that's really, I think, where the theme of us wanting to talk about where's Jesus in this, where's
Yeah.
God in this, right? I think we originally went into this with, well, where's Jesus in the story, and I think we can find that, but I think sometimes it's forced
Yeah.
object, and I don't, and I know for me, I don't want to do that, but ultimately there's that ultimate picture of it telling us who God is, or
Mhm.
telling us something and revealing us something about God. And I think that's just as important as to knowing like how the Old Testament points to Jesus. Understanding God tells us how Jesus is part of the big picture at the same time. You know,
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
me too.
I think having 10 weeks now. I'm looking at the schedule here, and this summer you are speaking 5 of the 10 weeks.
I am. How much did you have to pay Daniel to pawn off your?
I'm preaching
board?
4 of the 10 weeks. This is gonna be a nice summer for Steve. So
It will be.
yeah, and so that's interesting. So a couple thoughts on that. Yeah. What do you do? Yeah. So you're gonna talk more than normal.
We're gonna talk a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you don't have any back to back. It looks like so we have a little break in there.
I thought I
that'll
had
help.
one. Did I
There's
not?
like a Love Lincoln Way in the middle. So it
Oh,
doesn't,
okay,
yeah.
alright.
So you got a little bit of time because there's a different rhythm when you preach every week.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was hoping you would experience, but it's not going to happen. So, no, I think so. Just So tell me, how are you preparing for this, or what are you thinking about this? Are you nervous about this? What do you?
I'm not nervous. I think being an educator, like, and having to talk every day and having an idea of what you're talking about every day kind of helps with that. I know my general process, because I don't preach very often, will definitely not work for this, because I would like hole myself up for a weekend in a place where no other human is typically, and just write as much as I can and get it done. So that's not going to necessarily work for this, but I think we've been looking at it and talking about it long enough, because I think we got together back in March or April and
Yeah.
kind of had a sit down conversation about what are these kind of looking like and what are we looking at. And so they've been sitting in the back of my mind for a while. I think it helps that they're known stories for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
That's going to help out a little bit. But it's just shaping them to what's going to work well for the church, and you know, I know you like to do it as well, but what's the application at the end?
Yeah.
You know, because we can sit and tell a story, but why is that meaningful to you?
Right.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be a lot more work than what I usually do when I work out to help you out. But I'm looking forward to it. I think just because it's really, you know, I joke around sometimes. I always feel like you give me the hardest of the sermon series whenever you give them to me. Like we did the one where we did one verse and I had 3 words out of the
Oh
one
yeah,
verse.
those are fun.
It was fun. It definitely was. And having difficult sermons is not, but it's always like, oh my gosh, this is, how do I make this work? How do we fit this? You know, can we write? Apparently I can write a whole sermon out of 3 words. So
Yeah. You're still doing it, I think.
yeah. I can't preach a whole sermon in 3 words, but
No, I'm excited. I think it's going to be neat for the church to hear different voices this summer and versus mine every week. I think it's not healthy for the church to have that, and so trying to raise up more communicators. That's one of my personal goals, and so I think it'll be fun to watch you work through this process, and we work a lot together with the words,
Yeah.
and even after this, you're helping me with this week. So, like, yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm excited to hear from you, and the podcast will make it fun, and
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
and maybe we will see that September, or maybe we will see that summer dip now.
Because now we're giving them they already know the weeks I'm preaching, so they're like, I'm not gonna show up on that one.
No, they do not care if I talk. I am not a draw, so it'll be fun. I'm really excited about it. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, you asked if I get nervous about it. I don't. You know, people are like, I can't believe you get up there and talk, right? Like, people, you know, what's the number one fear after death is public speaking,
Yeah,
right? Sometimes it's the number one fear for a lot of people. That's not the scary part about it. It's the big picture of the church. You know, even being an elder, like, there's that weight that you carry for the church as a whole that exists. But when you get up there and preach, like, it's a totally different weight, you know, because it's that moment right there. Like it's not a generality of a shepherd taking care of sheep. It's like it's these words really have to be the right words, and you really have to trust in God to help you and to inspire you to say the things that need to be said at that point. And then the other thing that always worries me is I know that you are not you're the face of the church, but you're not the face of the church, and that's that contradiction. Like this is an inside baseball thing as well. Is that as a pastor, we never want the pastor to be the person that everyone thinks this is the person that has to do everything.
Right.
It's a very old philosophy of the church, and it's not good. But to be the guest speaker there and have people come in, and it's like, I don't want to be the reason why a person doesn't want to come back, because of something I said as that guest speaker.
I hear that. I thought your biggest challenge was going to be what T-shirt you were going to wear. So that would be your biggest challenge.
Hey, I do try to dress up. Back in the day, I did just wear T-shirts and whatnot, but
that's that feeling of, are people going to leave because of me or you or whoever I don't know. I mean, I think God works in what way.
Oh,
God
for
works.
sure.
And so I think we try to go in and be humble and our best and listen to God, and then He handles people's hearts. So I don't think it really matters if somebody's leaving or somebody's staying because I'm preaching or leaving because I'm preaching. Then they shouldn't be here because that's stupid.
Right, and I get that. It doesn't mean that doesn't. It's not whatever you want to call it. It's a thing in the back of your head that.
It's in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm not saying it's right or anything like that. It's just the reality of what exists. And so when people are like, oh, I don't know how you can get up there. Well, getting up there, that's the easy part.
Not for me.
Writing the words is for me, it is. Like taking the words off the piece of paper and talking to them. Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. I'm a mess.
No, I think, and going back to like my history of teaching, I did theater for a long time. Like being in front of people is not a problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I mean, I like being in front of people, obviously, but like, it's still there's a nervousness of like, here we go. I'm about to do this, and this is beyond me and bigger than me, and I can't. What if I screw it up?
I think maybe like those moments right before going up there.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm up there, like
when I'm up there,
you're right. Yeah, there is that little bit right before going up there that can be a little nerve wracking. Like, oh my gosh, did I write the right? Again, is the right thing going to come out of my mouth?
Yeah.
Is this the message that needs to be heard? Is it too harsh? Is it too soft? Is it, where did I fall in there? It may sound great, but is it fulfilling the purpose of what I need to be of this role in this particular moment in time?
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see you grow in that a little bit and have some fun afterwards. And and the podcast will be fun. We're going to have kind of like a similar format to before, where whoever speaks will kind of be the expert that week, and the other person will ask some questions. Well, people can send in questions because we've got a new platform.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that because that's going to be interesting.
So we've got a new little platform. I don't know how it works, though, but you can send in a question. So somehow send in a question.
So here it's to the audience right now. If you know what our topics are, if not, you can rewind and find them. But preemptively send in questions. We can sort them.
That'd be good.
If you got them. You can wait till that Sunday.
Sort them. We're going to get one question.
We still have to sort that.
Come on. But we're gonna. I think there's a little button somewhere you can hit to send a question or something.
Yeah, I think we had something like that last year.
Yeah, but this is a little bit different. I hope. I don't know. We're figuring it out.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about?
What's that?
Where we're going to be at on these podcasts.
Where are we going to be at?
Well, last year when we published our podcast, it was only to the to the church app.
We're hosting it. Oh yeah. We're on YouTube now. Don't look at our views. Because it is one and it's me. And I accidentally clicked on it.
I was kind of hoping when I said where we're going to be at, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot we're going to Hawaii for one of these.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. No, yeah, we're on YouTube. We're actually on you can actually find the podcast now, not through the church app. I mean, it'll be in the church app under a little button, but we're not in the church feed anymore. So you have to go to any of your podcast players and look for Not for Sunday Mornings, and we'll pop up. You'll see our little logo. You can download it there, and it's a separate feed. So it's not going to feed in through the church. It'll be a separate feed. So
so that'll be exciting. So we're actually putting this out for the whole world to see. It's not hidden, anymore at that point. And so it'll be
I turned off comments, don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you in advance. Yeah, because
Does that mean we can have ads now? Like this
Ooh, we
episode
might.
brought to you by Love Lincoln Way. Don't forget to sign up for Love Lincoln
oh
Way.
yeah,
this
we
week.
could do that.
No, we're not doing.
Um,
So we're gonna ask questions throughout the sermon, and then we're also gonna have a Melchizedek moment.
okay, so this
Melchizedek.
has kind of been a running joke between us, but I think we're gonna toss it in a little bit. Melchizedek.
Yeah.
Melchizedek. If you don't know who Melchizedek is, you will definitely by the end of this podcast.
You will not want to know.
There is more to say about him than anything, and he is such an. I mean, we could do a whole sermon on him. He was one.
You can. I don't know anything about him.
We could easily talk about him, but he's so obscure that a lot of people just don't realize who he is. Or
Will you
part
show
of it.
people your Melchizedek tattoo at the end of the sermon? Because you're in love with this guy. My gosh. All you do is talk about him. So Chris is gonna, every week he's going to tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
him.
we'll talk a little bit about him, and really like it came up because we do the Bible Institute classes.
Yeah.
And so my book of the Bible that I preach on is Hebrews, and there's a whole section about Melchizedek
Yeah.
that's pulled from the Old Testament. And so so he's been a Bible enigma for a long time for me, and just fascinating to me. And I'm hoping that if you don't know who he is, look him up. He's
Good luck spelling it.
he's in Genesis. He's got like maybe about eight might be generous saying verses about him in Genesis, and then there's a whole chapter on him in Hebrews, and I think he's mentioned one other spot in the Book of Psalms. And yeah, he's a fun character.
And Chris has a tattoo of him, so it's pretty awesome. Would you get a Melchizedek tattoo if I paid for it?
Would that be interesting?
I'll do it. If we get 3 views.
I don't know if my wife would let me do that though.
Come on. She doesn't have to know. She's never going to see it.
We're gonna shave my head and put it underneath there, and then hide me for about a month until it grows back.
Come on. Yeah. So we're excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get to do this again. Kind of. I mean, not really, but you like to do it. So
It is work, and this is work on Steve's part because
no, it's not just on me. It's on everybody.
it
This
is.
fun.
It is. But Steve does a lot of the heavy lifting, and so
Like moving the table.
that literally the heavy lifting. That's what I said, heavy lifting. But yeah,
If
so
we ever get a podcast studio, it'd make it a lot easier. I do it every week then.
yeah,
Setting up is a pain.
I just don't know where we would do it because we did so much in the church to
I
fix
know.
it up.
I
It's
know.
hard. Like we've thought about lots of different places, we just can't figure
Nah,
out.
that's all right. For now, this is cool
At
though.
home.
And we'll see how this goes. And maybe we'll see how this goes. Right now
Maybe.
it's 10 episodes.
Yep.
And we'll see where it goes from
How many-
there. Oh,
do
11
we-
episodes actually.
Yeah, this will be the 11th one.
Man,
How many did we do last time? Season 1 was it 10?
Too many. Yeah. I don't know.
I forget
9
how
or
long
10,
the
yeah.
series was.
9 or 10, yeah.
9 or 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so 10,
Yeah, that's
and a
pretty good.
year between each one. So
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be fun.
I'm liking that because
You
'cause I
get
could definitely
you
do
get
this.
that tattoo. We'll see.
Yeah. So listen, watch. You know, we're gonna put this out whether you do or not.
Yep.
And again, maybe the warning should go out along with it with this one. We're not experts.
No. We're
and
idiots.
we are definitely idiots that
Yeah.
are talking about this. We are dangerous with the little bit of knowledge that we have.
Yep.
And so there may be things that we say that you may not fully agree with. And so when we do say those things, I always go back to Paul. Is it a disputable matter? Can we agree to disagree essentially on
yeah.
that? I don't believe that either one of us will ever say heretical things on here.
Hope not.
That's the goal, is not to, but
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, I guess depends on who's listening and what they particularly believe or think is heretical or not. But our goal is to educate and to do the best we can about it and do it from our layperson knowledge. For the most part, you know,
Yeah.
I think you have a degree.
Yeah, I got a couple degrees, but
Um,
thanks for throwing me in there. But I know
Do you-
got those
do you have
fake
two?
degrees. Yeah, I got a master's and a bachelor's. Dude, I'm killing it over here.
Oh, I didn't
And I'm
know.
working on
I
a
forgot
doctorate.
you
I mean,
got a
not really,
master's.
but yeah, I'm not an idiot.
I didn't say
I
you
just
were.
play it like that.
Yeah, so I have no biblical degrees whatsoever.
But he reads a lot.
But I do read a lot.
And he knows how to use ChatGPT.
I love ChatGPT. That is my favorite invention
Oh
of
my
all
gosh.
time. But
That's
yeah. So please do understand when you listen that we do the best we can
Yeah.
with what we know. Our goal is never to offend anybody on this. Our goal is to talk about things and have those discussions, those, almost philosophical discussions sometimes. Like
Yeah.
we're covering the Bible, but we're trying to look into it a little bit deeper and
Yeah.
trying to get into it a little bit deeper.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
If you don't want to listen to us, there's a few others that we can recommend you to listen to that are really good. But
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, yeah, I'm excited. There's gonna be a lot of fun, and we'll try to keep it at like about a half hour. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. This is a half hour right now.
yeah, I
so-
think last year when we did it, we averaged a little over half hour, under 45 minutes.
Okay.
I
yeah.
think we had one that went really long.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Those will be Chris's. So I'll be.
Well, I got
providing-
5 of them now.
I'll be providing the comic relief during those ones. So that's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm excited, and I hope you'll join us. And yeah, I think that's all we got.
And tell your friends.
Maybe wait a couple episodes before you tell
No, tell your friends. Like, because we already did this once. Like,
hit the
we're
like.
ready to go. Hit that like.
No, don't
Wait,
hit the like. Don't hit the like. Don't hit the subscribe button. Stay away from those.
like and smash that like button.
No, we're turning those off. You can't do that.
Can you turn those
I
off?
hope so.
I don't
hope
think so. I think you can turn off comments, but I think like and subscribe or
Lordy, we're in trouble.
we are.
We
We're-
should see how long
we're-
it takes for us to get a like.
I just want to see if we get banned.
For what?
I don't know. That's why I want to find
We're
out.
not doing anything bad.
I know. I don't think so.
No, come on. It's gonna be all good.
All right.
Okay, I will see you next week.
Yeah. Looking forward to who are we starting with? Rahab?
Rahab, the
All right.
prostitute. And you know what's funny? There's a little thing. This is the week where we're like changing our kids program. So first service, it's only special needs first service. And
Mm.
so if you have a kid first service, you're going to bring them into service. And the first Sunday, we're going to talk about a prostitute. That was really smart of us.
I don't think we thought that one through at all.
No. But actually, it's a neat little twist. I'll leave that for Sunday.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you again for listening, and we're looking forward to the rest of the summer and doing 10 more of these. And
Yep.
so I'm excited. I hope
Me
I know
too.
Steve is, and
Me too.
I hope everyone who's listening is too.
Yep.
Which
Thanks
is
a lot.
0. Thanks.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
guys.